but Mike Land, what is up, y'all?
What up?
June the 26th, and this is episode number 37.
Tree 7.
Oh, yeah. And,
what up, folks?
I can't believe we've hit 37.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those milestones. I think everyone is now progressively a milestone.
Considering we're just bullshitting and fucking around, it's pretty crazy we got to 37.
For real.
And that we take the time to actually do this. But we had our first happen on this podcast. But
we've been trolled.
Before I get to that, I just want to send a shout out to Diane Mellering. I went up and got a haircut the other day, and she happened to be like, "Oh, listen to the podcast." So shout out to her. And I also want to send a shout out to Kevin Walsh, who we saw at Walmart.
Oh, okay.
You know,
random.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, I see. Watch the podcast. You know, you guys are great." And so shout out to those guys for listening to us. But as we were saying, we had a troll situation happen where we got banned, which is a flattering kind of thing, but at the same time, it kind of sucks that we had to come to terms. I think we had a misunderstanding of what we were trying to put out there, and people
didn't. You know, like you said, misunderstanding.
Yeah, for sure.
One side, who knows if they liked it. The other side, someone obviously disliked it. So
what ended up happening, in my opinion, is that we talk about current events on the show. So one of the current events,
Russia did us in.
It was Putin, right? That motherfucker.
Yeah, they're all honest, man.
If we were drinking vodka, he'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we talk about current events on the show, and one of the current very important things that are going on in the world was immigration, and we were disagreed with the way it's getting handled. So I think people kind of
and not so much the bigger scope of immigration, just the kids. I was mainly focused on the humanitarian situation for the kids.
Because we both agreed that they're breaking a law. Well, then you didn't do what you got to do. But that was a little bit much for a misdemeanor. For those who don't know, crossing the border illegally is a misdemeanor. It's a felony on the second offense. But so some of these people obviously were misdemeanors, and they were doing some kind of a jail. Anyway, moral of the story is we, just like Johnny was saying, we didn't agree with it.
We expressed our opinions.
Yeah, and I think it was against what people thought was against Republicans in a certain extent, but it came down to the humanity.
We always say we're not red or blue.
Yeah,
we've always said it.
Never.
And I don't know that we're exactly.
And I won't ever be.
Yeah. And I don't know that we're exactly humanists. You know, like there's this whole humanism thing. I'm definitely for humanity.
We ain't the fucking Pope, that's for sure.
You know, and I think that's all I try to state is the progression of us and the symbiotic relationship with the world.
Absolutely.
And, you know, in humanity and we'll progress into the long future.
Right.
You know, whatever's going on now is only detrimenting us, I think. But as the Chinese proverb always says, and I've said before, maybe.
That was the last podcast.
One or two podcasts ago, I told that story. So you never know. This could be good or bad for who knows what.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a misunderstanding. Apologize to whoever got offended.
The big media dog tried to get us.
Right.
We're scratching at them. Yeah. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Like I said, we had our podcast frozen, and I guess under review or whatever it may be. And I think they tried to say that we had hate speech. But I guess after,
I'm sure that they're gonna realize that we don't.
Well, yeah, for sure. Because after all said and done, I got a message from Facebook saying you're good to go after this, after your time in jail. I guess is what it is. So
we've done our time. Man.
Yeah. So they said
we've paid our
Wednesday at 2:00 we're free. So we're doing this podcast on Tuesday, so we can put it out on Wednesday as soon as we're free.
They said, take
that, motherfuckers!
Lob it in on them. Boom!
No.
From the far side.
But like I said, apologize to anybody who got offended and had their feelings.
We wasn't trying to hurt no one. Just enlighten folks.
We're just trying to start a revolution of love.
Yeah. Hey. Love.
Anyway, but fuck all that. That's just what happened. We were just hooking you up. We don't want to get too far into it. But man.
That was the past.
One thing that was on my mind today, and I was like, I gotta run it by Johnny, is that we were at work. This is the whole different. I'm hitting you with the curveball here, but we were at work, and my boss was like, "Hey, have you seen my?" Because we have a thing which is the wood knife. I do flooring. I'm a carpenter, so there's a wood knife, which is a special type of tool. And he was like, "Hey, have you seen my wood knife?" And I kind of started laughing. I was like, what the fuck is up with silent letters? Who the fuck thought of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid. I was like, why can't we just spell it with the N? Because it's the K is, like,
Knife.
Silent letters are fucking ridiculous.
The conifers.
Who thought of that? Who was the motherfucker that thought of silent letters? And why?
I don't know that they thought of it. It just kind of I think that they progressively arose. You know.
Do you see a point of a silent letter yourself? Personally?
So, to me, it's a matter of discrepancies between languages, where I don't know, you know,
and then it's stupid. To me, it doesn't make any sense. It's like a law that we have to, because it's a law of English or a law of literature, whatever it may be, right? It's a law. It's a law that we all have to abide by. But I think to myself, what the point is that? What's a silent letter for?
I think it just increases the ability, or it increases vernacular. You know, it increases. 'Cause it hints to there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know that saying.
Okay, besides knife, what is another word that has a silent letter that you could think of? Because
anything with the PH is like Philip or philanthropy.
No, Philip. There's an H in Philip.
PH, yeah.
Right, the first. I mean, that's not a silent letter, is it? I didn't think so.
Well, I
was having a hard time thinking of a silent besides knife.
Oh, okay. You mean completely silent, I guess, where it's not utilized.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, like knife.
Like knife, huh? That's a good one.
Because like he said knife, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. And I was like, wait a minute. What the fuck is the point of a silent letter? Like, why can't you say knife? Why ain't it a knife?
Yeah.
You know what? You know. I was just it's just one of those random thoughts that I have that I think about, and this is why I have a podcast, because I have so many fucking random thoughts that are stupid like this, which I need to get more into. I for some reason don't hold out a lot. Like really, what you get is a 50% me. When I should probably let go, because 100% me gives you these fucking stupid questions like, what the fuck is a silent letter?
What is a silent letter?
And why have it? Yeah, like fucking. I almost want to start a fucking like a serious, take it to either Congress or literature law.
Like the penny, try to get it abolished.
Yeah,
like the penny.
There's
no need for the penny.
But yeah, I was just like, that's such a weird idea. Whoever thought of that? Like were there too many fucking N words? Where the guy was like, dude, we got too many N words. You need to put a K on that shit. We just won't pronounce it.
Yeah.
You know, like what happened there?
Like I said, I think it just arose. I don't know that anyone conceptually said, "Oh, we're gonna create this." I think it just in switching over from whichever language it was put into English from, you know, because it's who knows where we utilized it, right? Like, that's what I think. It just kind of came about. I don't know that someone was like, K on that.
Right. You know, like next time you come across a fucking silent letter in a word, you gotta fucking hit me up.
I think, dude,
because I was thinking for the depth of me today.
I'm thinking it's probably something Germanic or Nordic, where you know you hear a knif, all kind of like KN words, and we just.
That's very it's interesting. That's
I don't
know.
That's totally being. Simple about it,
right.
You know what I mean?
See the logic.
No humor to it,
right.
But that's just what I think is that it just, you know, kind of arose in that situation. Not that someone was thinking they were being smart or anything like that.
Yeah, I got you.
It just from some other language into ours, it went like that.
It's just a random fucking thought.
No, it's a serious one. I've been on many sites that the knife has been and in that same ode to the knife, I've heard 101 some usable and some not, right? Like the tight, you know, like TIGHT.
Right.
You know, well, to simplify it on the job site, I've heard them, you know, like, yeah, I want that tight, TIT, tight.
Right.
You know, when we all know what that spells. But, so, tit.
No, but I'm just trying to. I'm still trying to fucking think of silent letter words.
Another silent letter.
I can't think of one right now. Anybody who could think of a silent letter word, pop it into the fucking comment box.
Yeah, throw it in there.
I really.
There are a lot. I'm sure there's more than just that one. It's just on the top of your head, or always like trying to think of it.
That's what I'm thinking too hard.
It really creates.
It's like when you forget to spell the, and you're like, "Fuck, how you spell that? How do you spell the?" And you have to embarrassingly ask somebody, but you got to make like. There's been a couple of times where I'm like, "Fuck, how do I spell this?" And I'm like, I'll look at somebody and be like, "I can't ask them."
Yeah,
I'm waiting for somebody to just like, I'm like, okay, I can ask them and feel okay about it. You know, it's usually like an elderly lady. And sometimes you just got those brain fucking farts,
A
as
block,
they call them. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You know, you just like you forget an easy word for some reason.
That's simple to do. We have so many of them. I remember
Right.
I was asked, well, how many words do you think you know? And me, I just threw out there, I was like, 1,000,000 maybe? I don't know. And
Seriously though, would you think that you seriously know 1,000,000 words?
with different languages, maybe, you know, but not. I don't know that it's actually
Right, with your Spanish and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
all together, and your little
yeah.
bit of Portuguese.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
else.
And then like
Did you learn Filipino while you were there?
a little bit.
What do you know? Send me something.
Too big is water. I'll never go thirsty.
Too big?
Too big.
Oh, that's easy.
That's super easy, right?
That's weird.
Yeah, you just tell them you're like too big, too big,
And they know it's water.
And then it's water coming, dude. You feel dumb because you're asking for too big, right?
Yeah, that's strange.
But that's water. Water's on its way, homie.
Hey, anybody out in Philippines, if you ever need water, too big.
Too big, simple. Yeah.
Right. Which really weird.
Which that's Tagalog. I don't know if that Tagalog is their national language, but every little region will have some other dialect that is there.
Right.
So some people, or most of them, if they grow out of the, if you will, the Manila area, they'll know two different languages. They'll know their given dialect right there in the region, and then they'll speak Tagalog, which is, like I said, the national language, and English on top of that shit. So some of them are like already trilingual on top of knowing if they're from two different households. The kid might be smart enough to know both parents' regional dialects,
Right.
Tagalog and English, and then who knows what else they're learning.
I was impressed. I knew a homie who,
So they can be they're smart kids, yo.
yeah. I think anybody who knows multi-language, like you're saying, trilingual or whatever that's just a level of intelligence that is hard to come with, like book knowledge. Like it adds something.
Yeah,
It adds
yeah.
something to your.
You know, like how you decipher between street knowledge and book smarts. And
Yeah,
so on
yeah.
and so
Yeah,
forth.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it just adds another notch to that.
Right.
For sure.
Well, I'm glad you told me that, man. Too big, because I got to remember to not have sex in a Filipino restaurant, because all of a sudden I'm just gonna have water's everywhere. It's like, you know what I mean?
Water is coming out of the woodwork.
They're like, he wants another one. She says she wants another one. She wants
Another one. It's
They're like, oh, she wants another one.
pouring out water.
Yeah, so that's good to know that.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
not have sex in a Filipino restaurant. Thanks for looking out.
Don't break it on down.
Yeah.
They're the culture is amazing over there. So it's possibly that situation could arise, and so it's good to let people know, like you're stating.
If
Jokes again, folks. Jokes.
Yeah. Right.
We got to preface it.
You know, one thing about vocabulary and what we're talking languages, I came across an article that said people who cuss, which I'm a fucking sailor like 10 times over.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody who watches the podcast and sees that, I cuss pretty often. Anyway, but people who cuss a lot are actually have a higher vocabulary and actually higher intelligence for some reason.
Is that right? I remember that was equated to being dumb. The fact that someone cursed quite a bit in making a point, in whatever it may be, and you know.
And it still has that mystique.
The ignorance level is higher.
It's uncivilized.
Yeah,
is what it comes down to.
And I myself, I liken it to it's just an extent of vocabulary if you utilize it right.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's like in modern society they came up with, they did a study about like how, just like I just said, there's a lot of people who use like, just like I just said,
when I hear it, oh man,
it's one of those things that the mind uses to give yourself space. So it's like a boxer stepping back.
Yeah,
it
sure.
gives you a chance to gather and that's what like is in it. And there's a couple other words that are
but rather than interpret it as most people do when you hear like from a person repetitively, you kind of think like
stupid,
right? So that
like a blonde.
But you interpret it, but you interpret it as just a person.
Well, that's just
seeking space in their thought.
Exactly, they're giving themselves a little time. But I got that from an article. Unfortunately, the article about cussing, I didn't get to finish it because I was doing it during work. So I didn't get to finish that. I had to get back.
Because they're cussing at you.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking Chris! Hey,
motherfucking phone. Nah, my bosses ain't that bad. They probably have a problem.
They would be more proud about it.
I will say about those dudes is they probably do have a problem with me being on my phone sometimes when I probably shouldn't. I'm not bad. I'm by no means bad. I bust ass.
You're not a millennial about
No,
it?
but I am on my phone at times where I probably shouldn't be. But they know they're cool with me doing the podcast, and I think they kind of understand that some of this is like I gotta do podcast. I gotta either somebody's messages me or posting something, so they let it slide sometimes. So they're cool.
They understand that it's a form of work for you.
Yeah.
You're not just scrolling through your timeline and liking or disliking booty shots.
Yeah.
Crummy butt shot.
Yeah, I'm
dislike.
not on the chive, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting on the chive all day or watching, what is the one that you watch with the fucking booties? You called it something. You're like, hey, you ever check out?
There's quite a few. I'm a booty man.
Right.
So,
same here, man. I would.
hashtag she squats.
If it wasn't such a creepy thing to
I
do.
love hashtag she squats.
That's the one.
That's the one. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Brah. Them are some heavy duty, oh man, they'll be working out. The hashtag Fitspo for them girls, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get the working out, and I love a girl that works out, but if you're going to go work out for the ass purposes, I kind of find that unattractive. I like an ass. I like an ass. But I find that
that's one of those
like an Instagram girl.
Yeah.
Like I love that ass. Don't get me wrong. I like your videos.
Yeah.
But I find that a vain type of, to me, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like a girl that's hot, but she doesn't go around acting like it, like, doing squats just for the ass because she knows she got to go post something later. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the money maker.
I know. And like I was about to say, I love
some of them girls that have 1 million followers or better.
Right.
They're getting paid for that booty, dude.
Yeah.
So they're out there just like J-Lo, J-Lo had her booty insured. I don't know if you remember.
They push products.
Yeah, exactly. They push products.
Right.
Thin tea or who knows what, right? Like
which, by the way, if you're looking for a better lifestyle, hit Thrive. Shout out to Thrive, man.
Shout out to
our sponsor at the moment. And we would have more sponsors, but I gotta say, I actually stand by Thrive because I use it on a daily basis, and it actually does work. I mean, it gives me the energy I need and everything else it helps me burn fat because I've gotten really out of shape, which is another thing I wanted to talk to you about how I'm not eating well, man. My diet's really bad.
It's hard for
people.
So
I'm almost convinced I'm gonna die with a heart attack. Yeah. Like I'm convinced I'm dying of a heart. Have you ever thought about how you're gonna die? You ever thought about that?
For sure.
It's weird, ain't it?
Death is.
Sometimes it's like I'm okay with it, and there's sometimes I'm like I don't want to die. But then there's sometimes I'm like, oh, it's cool.
For sure. It's always with that yin yang with me about it. Like I feel like, man, I've achieved. Of course, I'm no like Julius Caesar, right? But I've done some shit, and I've been around, and I've seen some things that some folks on the other end of the spectrum haven't. To me, it's a decent life. Like I could die happy, right? So, I meet my maker. It comes, so be it, right? But other times I'm like, nah, it's way too early, and for me, it's always the shadow moments. Like I'll be in some type of a situation, like driving. You're next to a semi and they're cutting traffic, or who knows what, or you see someone being dumb on the road. Well, that is like you see your life and it's like, oh shit, you back up or you take off to get out of the situation.
Right.
So, I'm with you. Like I'm ready whenever, but then
all bullshit aside, you've actually came close to dying.
Oh yeah.
You and CJ got in that real bad accident, right?
Yeah.
Where it was a flipping.
Yeah, we rolled.
You didn't have your seatbelt on.
I didn't wear my seatbelt.
So you could have easily got ejected.
Yeah, that's how I busted my tooth off.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I lost my tooth.
You're all tooth. Every time you talk, you whistle.
Yeah.
I'm okay, guys.
People thought it was gonna hurt the lady game, dog, but turns out, I saw it on that Johnny Depp movie he did about Whitey.
Oh, the Black Mess.
Yeah, I had the white tooth, and I was like, see that?
That's my dog.
That's my dog.
Why you bullying my dog?
Anyways, but yeah, and that's not the only one. I don't know if you remember in 2004, I rolled a tractor off the hill in Doss.
At Happy Feathers.
Yeah, just off of Doss Hill, like straight off. tractor rolled, came off. I had the moment where it was like, do I ride it? Do I jump?
So, okay, see, for me, when I think of that, I'm thinking that's not a near-death experience. However, I'm not in the cockpit, so
Yeah.
you felt the scaredness of it being a near-death.
Not exactly a near, but I had the adrenaline of like, this is a fight or flight. This is.
Well, yeah, because if you'd have jumped that way,
Oh yeah.
into the way of the tractor,
It totally rolled right where anywhere I could go, it was already
Right.
rolling towards me. So I had to jump and get, and it was all that informed. And not to say that I was seeing my life before my eyes or anything like that, but I knew that this could be the end. I was like, holy shit, this is a fucking life or death moment. Like, I gotta act quick. And
just to paint a real quick picture for people, is Johnny's on this hillside, a real good steep hill. I mean, a good steep hill.
Like a 300, 400.
If you slip and you don't catch yourself, you're rolling to the bottom.
I like to liken it to Footloose. You know, where he's doing that chicken with Homie, and they're on the tractors, and he's stuck. He can't. Kevin Bacon, who I am, right?
Well, Johnny's on a hill, and he's on a tractor going this way, and he has a crew with him,
Yeah.
and they're spraying.
Yeah, we're spraying diesel remedy
Right,
mix.
so he's on this hill that's a good incline, and he's on a tractor like this, and the clutch pops or something.
Yeah.
So he can't.
And I'm dragging 50-gallon barrels.
Yeah, so he's got a trailer
Yeah.
with how many 50-gallon
Three
barrels?
of them.
Three. Okay, so that's a lot of weight on this tractor. Well, the clutch pops, brakes stop working, so he's going out of control.
It's just freewheeling down the hill, just like.
So then it loses composure, so it starts rolling.
The tractor and all the weight and everything started pulling and pushing as we're hauling ass down the hill, and it started to jump. The tractor front end started to jump.
On the side of the hill.
Yeah, on the side of the hill.
Rolling this way.
Yeah, it was jumping. And I'm riding it out, like trying to, keep going at a
I'm living the story. I'm like grabbing for shit I don't even need.
Trying to go at the angle, right, so that I don't keep going straight down. And it just keeps jumping, and I'm losing on the steering wheel. And like I said, I saw the back end coming up of the trailer as the front end of the tractor kept jumping, and it was kind of jackknifing. And I knew, I was like, bro, I need to get the fuck off this thing. And I didn't know it was gonna flip that instant, but the second I jumped, it flipped. Like I was jumping out, like I put my foot. If you know trailers,
your survival instinct.
Yeah, that big old fender well. I put my foot on the back
on the
fender well, right?
Yeah.
And I just leaped off, heaved into the fucking
everything. You didn't give a shit.
I didn't give a shit. I just leaped into everything, and adrenaline pumping. I barely remember. Like I know I hit the ground and looked back, and I just told myself kept going. Yeah, it was rolling at me. And then I jump into
almost like Indiana Jones and the Rock.
Yeah, oh yeah,
fucking tractor.
Exactly. Except there was a tractor flipping behind me, and it was one of those like. So I jumped and I kept running, and it just rolled past me as I cut an angle, away from it, and it finally stuck. The trailer broke free of it, and it stuck in the dirt one way. There's all kinds of chemicals spilling over, and it was pretty wild. The tractor was busted up.
Yeah. So you've had 2 close calls.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
I've only had one. I've had one incident where I saw death, and I've had others, but I'm not going to tell you those. I'll give a quick story about this one incident where I saw death. We were all hanging out, and I was in Waco. I was visiting family and stuff, and my sister lived up in Waco, so I was visiting my sister, and she has a son who was my age, and so he had a whole crew because he had been in Waco for a while, so he had all this group of people, and of course I'm just a country boy going up to visit Waco, and Waco's was a city to me. To me, that was a city. You know what I mean?
By our little town standards, that's a city.
Well, there was a crew that he hung out with, and they would hang out at the convenience store. So we were all hanging out.
Typical.
Yeah. Just I'm 36 now. I was every bit of 16. No, I was younger.
You're probably younger than that.
I was younger than that. It's like 14, maybe 15. Anyway, so we're all hanging out at the convenience store. I'm just a kid hanging out with people that I don't even fucking know. But there's a group, and they all have their own social totem pole that they go by. Well, there was this cat that you could tell was kind of what they considered the alpha. He was the guy that would fuck with people, and he was the typical douchebag. Like, somebody would have something cool, say something cool. That would he felt like they were taking his. He would kind of
his cool.
Yeah, he'd kind of be like a dickhead about it later.
Like that ain't even funny.
When are you gonna get new shoes or whatever? Yeah, whatever. Because this, unfortunately, this was a hip hop crew. So
Shoes is a big,
yeah,
big,
you
big
know,
thing in that
yeah,
world.
like what you wore was always. So he was
Yeah.
always fucking with people the whole time. He's fucking with people, and he was a dick. Well, they had this little guy. I don't remember his name, but he was a little fucking guy, small guy. He was nice. He was just a little white guy, small guy, real gangly. But this was his crew, so he liked to be around. Even though this fucking guy just kept wearing on him, just always picking on this guy. But that was the guy that made him felt like he could beat his chest because he would pick on that.
Pick
guy.
on that
Yeah.
guy. That's why he was tough.
Well, we asked for a couple hours that we were sitting there. You know, this is back when you could drink and it was cool. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a big deal. Like a cop saw you drinking, I was like, just don't get into trouble. Yeah. But this was back in those days, right?
It was 90s for sure.
Yeah. So we're
90s, baby. 90s was a good, like that was a good year.
Oh,
the 90s.
Middle school.
You know.
My middle school years will always be the best.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were hanging out, and eventually, the little guy got to his breaking point. Man, and like I said, it had been going on for hours, and all of a sudden, the guy said something to him, and the dude fired one back instead of just taking it.
Yeah.
Well, the guy went up to him and fucking started hitting him. You know, like shut up.
Give him a noogie.
Right, yeah.
Honking him out.
And so the little guy, like I said, was already mad and fucking flung back. Well, they ended up getting separated. Well, the little guy hit him again and then took off running, but not like running away, but like ran. And there was a dude that had a Bronco that was playing the music, and the windows were all down. So the little guy jumped into the passenger seat of the Bronco, opened it real quick and shut it, and jumped to the back seat. Well, the guy followed him into the vehicle, you know, because he wanted to show that he's tough.
Yeah,
So he was going to
yeah.
give him a beating in front of everybody. Dude jumped into the vehicle with him, so the guy jumped into the back seat. And then realized, well, he's still coming, so he jumped to the very, very back. You know, the little back compartment area
okay.
of a Ford Bronco, right? They got that.
The trunk space.
There you go, the trunk space. So he jumps into the trunk space, and we're all watching because that our view was of the trunk space. It was all up, but back then you could roll the window down, right?
Yeah.
And so the music was playing, and he jumped into the back of the trunk space, and the dude jumped into the back seat, and you see him start hitting the little guy. You know, and all of a sudden you just see a little hand fucking go back, and then, you know, and they're like, yeah, he's fighting back. Well, I was like, he's fighting back.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden the big guy gets hit, and then he slumps over. And I was like, oh, he was landing blows on him. Like he defended himself. And then all of a sudden the guy was like, dude, you know, the little guy jumped back out, and he was covered in blood, and you're thinking he was socking him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Unfortunately, he was shaking the guy in the throat.
Whoa.
So those punches were knife jabs into the throat.
Whoa, gnarls, dude. So you saw a kid.
Everybody booked after that. Because the owner of the Bronco was like, dude, what the fuck? And it was like, dude, get out of there. And then realized what was going on.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, he was stabbing him. And you know, the little guy's just like
Covered in blood.
Yeah, and he's scared. Like he was completely scared. He just was like, well, like I said, we all left.
Wow.
I went home the next day. So that was my brush with.
Who knows what, right?
It's an intense story, people. I'm sorry, but that's the truth of it.
Damn,
you know?
Homie could have died. Probably did.
He might have, yeah. I just remember that dude jumping over, and we were like, ooh, you know, typical kids. Everybody's like, ooh, he got it.
He knocked him.
Yeah, and then the realization happened. We're just like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's messed up.
Wow.
Leo, he got messed up for a little while. He was at some kind of. This was 90s again, you know. It was a different era. It's like when they talk about the.
And it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, but you know they talk about how sissified or whatever culture has come just in that time frame. He was out and they were doing some hard drugs. I don't know what, right? Well, in that scene there happened to be some guns around too, and homie was messing with the gun, like cocking, uncocking, shooting, unloading, who knows what, right? And it goes off. Homegirl happens to be walking past as it goes off, like just it's a full-on
just coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence. And he was there for that. He was just happened to be in the room, and I don't know what happened, who got said what. I don't know if the call.
Leo left probably.
Leo left, and he was pretty weird for a couple of days.
Yeah.
He was all like.
Well, look at
silent.
me. I'm fucking 20 plus years or whatever it's been. I'm still. I vividly remember it enough to tell you.
It still sticks to you like that.
Yeah.
Where you're living.
I'm sure the same thing with Leo. I'm sure
Oh, for
he
sure.
could tell you what everybody was wearing and
Yeah.
what the carpet looked like or the whatever. The color of the wall. He probably could
Yeah,
tell you.
exactly. And when it splattered, how it went,
But just to add to what you said, it was a different era. We live in such a sheltered type of world that I just saw an article of these two kids. These two little boys were walking home, a 10 and an 8-year-old. This was just last week.
super young, 10 and 8.
They're walking home from the park. Well, this lady stops and is like, who has these little boys? What are they doing? They're in the middle. It's the middle of the day. What are they? Why are they walking alone? Stops and pulls up next to them and says, "What are you guys doing? Are y'all okay? Where's your grown up?" And they're like, "Oh, we were at the park. We're going home." And the lady's like, "What? Where were you? At the park? Where's your mother? Why are you walking by yourself?" And they're like, "Well, we were just at the park." Calls the cops. Cops come and are like, well, obviously you have to do something because you call the cops got to do their job.
Yeah, they got to
so they take the little boys home, right? And they pull up to the house, knock on the door, and the mother's like, "What's going on?" Or the mother and father are like, "What's going on? What's happened? What did they do?" And they're like, "Oh, they were walking home from the park alone." They're like, "Yeah, we taught them that. We've done it for millions of times, and we got to the point to where they understand what to do and where to come home and come straight home, and what's the big deal?" But we live in such a world where the lady, and so anyway, okay.
No, I'm with you.
Hold on, before I get to that. So this goes out. This ends up becoming a viral situation.
Wow.
And so 90% of the people are okay with it. They're like, yeah, because there was a poll, I guess, that said, "How do you feel about this?" Right? And everybody was like, "Well, that's fine. The parents taught them what you're supposed to do, and they were comfortable with it. So why do we have to?" But there was 10% of people who didn't agree, and that 10% of people just fucking ramshackled this family so hard. Like, what are you're not fit to be a parent. What are you thinking? And so the mother openly said, like, then I started to question my ability as a parent, and it was just that small 10%, that didn't agree with it. And it's like you said, we live in such a frail society that was a problem for somebody. I mean, how many times did we do that?
10 and 8.
We would come home to the house.
We were running the streets at that time.
Fish and pull on our bikes, fucking whatever.
I come from my grandmother's house to mom's house, or grandma to grandma's. I go from grandma's to grandma's.
Oh, dude, when we were there, that was like 20 miles.
It's what it seemed like.
Now it's like 3 miles or less.
Yeah.
It's
at
hilarious.
most.
Hilarious.
And it's people are like, "Well, you do that these days?" Yeah, that's what we did when we were younger. Like that was nothing.
Oh yeah.
And
we'd walk to the pool, stay all day fucking long.
Oh yeah, all day at the pool. Parents
We'd walk to the dances for school. We'd walk at nighttime. People nowadays are like, "Oh my god."
Wind up under the bridge.
Yeah.
Puking. Yeah. I did a few times.
Right.
That was life though. Like you lived it. Nowadays, I don't think kids even understand what life is, and that's what's messed up. I think.
It's the experience.
Yeah.
They lack it.
They lack it, and they're being accustomed to lacking it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're not being taught to enjoy anything else but, being dumbed down by whatever it may be that entertains them.
There's a double standard, though, because, like, for instance, we're saying this about kids, right?
Yeah.
Now, I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Would I send my 2 daughters to walk by themselves to the park? Fuck no, dude.
Well,
Fuck no, I would not.
Yeah.
But if I had 2 boys, I'd be like, "Here you go. Here's $10. Go
Full
buy it."
on double standard.
Fuck yeah, because my 2 daughters, oh dude, I'm like a motherfucking chicken hawk on that shit. If they're walking to the park, I'm 10 feet behind them. You know what I mean? The whole fucking time. And when they're at the park, I'm chilling and watching them too.
Fucking sitting there.
Yeah, but if there were 2 boys, I was like, just be home when the steaks are done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
make sure.
yeah, I'd
get
just go
home,
completely.
yeah.
I'd be like, here's a fishing pole, here's $10, get some worms. See ya at 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't come home too early or too late.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that's my hypocrisy. I'm
full on.
out.
No,
That's the truth, bro.
Yeah.
Truth for sure. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to this death situation though. If you give me your, without it being too long, your best case scenario for death and your worst case scenario for death.
I'm gonna go worst case first.
Yeah, always good move.
I always thought it would be something that was slow and torturous. I never wanted to drown. Drowning would be
That hurt.
would suck. I think, you know what I mean. Now, if you were submerged so deep that drowning would suck. I think
It doesn't
it
matter how.
doesn't matter how. Like, but you know, like I envision it like underneath some ice, and you can just see the air.
You're
right?
like that far away
And
from
you're
the fucking.
break
Yeah.
it, and you know, like that would be the utmost worst. But drowning, I think, would definitely be a shitty way to go. And then
Would you go drowning or fire if you had to pick?
Ooh, fire's got to be hard too. I kind of think fire would be more prolonged.
I'd go drowning.
I
I'm
think
for
so.
drowning on
Yeah,
that shit.
over dying.
They'd be like, "Oh fuck, this hurts," and the whole time. And drowning,
But there's
you're
no
like,
blaze of glory. There's no blaze of glory in drowning.
I'm such a comic book nerd. I would probably be like, I'd be like burning on fire. I'd be like, Human Torch. Before I die. That's so stupid.
You shoot into the road.
And then just be like, okay, I'm dead. It was cool for a second. Yeah, like I said, there is no.
If I had to choose, yeah.
There's no cool way. There's no cool way to drown. You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
Just try to be as stoic as possible.
If like if it was off a cliff with a car and you or something like that, and you
That
went
sucks too.
that would suck. Now, if you were in a submarine and it disabled and you drowned, like I said, any form of drowning I think would blow, dude.
So the worst case for you is drowning.
Well, the fire.
Oh, the fire. Worst case. So best case.
Well, if it was a prolonged, if I died instantly from an explosion in fire, I could take that. I would definitely go with that.
Dude,
But
this isn't no fucking. You can't pick.
But there's degrees of fire: third degree, second degree. Like, am I just being burned or something?
Just pick a death, motherfucker.
Because you could drown by suffocation of smoke, and that would be the worst to me. Because you'd still be being burned.
Think about how bad it would suck if you're like burning, you're like, fuck! And then you jump in the water to take off because you burn for like 2 minutes. You're like, I'm gonna jump in the water, and then you can't swim and you drown. So you get both.
Ooh, double-ended. It's one of
That's-
No, I would definitely suffocation by fire would trump drowning, but I think I would be I don't know, I could see myself getting out of, unless it was a car all caught up in flames, but I think I could get myself out of a fire.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Backdraft it, fucking wet the rag over the head, who knows what, right? Like, my survival skills are strong, brother.
All right, so best case?
Best case, heart attack, sexy ass chick on top of me.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, I probably just
Asking for water.
just doing it. Like I probably had the sickest meal ever, which compounded the heart attack thing, and then some bomb ass chick, dog, like just riding me into my death strokes. Like, that's my best way ever, I think.
It's funny, 'cause I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, dude, I think because I'm eating, like, I've had the bachelor lifestyle over the past 6 months, right? So I'm eating bad. I eat deer steak and stuff maybe once or twice a week, but those 5 other days I'm eating pretty poor.
Yeah.
So a way to trick myself into being healthy is I always tell myself, you're gonna die of a heart attack. That's a way, you know what I mean? To
That's
get
encouragement. That's real life encouragement.
No, for sure,
Yeah,
because that's
real
like,
life.
dude, no bullshit, you're gonna die of a heart attack. And then, so I was talking to my friend, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking seriously die of a heart attack. He's like, really? You think that's when? I was like, fuck yeah. And it ain't even gonna be cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's a cool way to die of a heart attack. Like Marlon Brando and fucking Godfather. He's playing with his godson out in the fucking garden.
Yeah.
And he has a heart attack and he dies. And that's
He's in the middle of a great life.
beautiful
moment.
heart attack.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd be that lucky. You know what I mean? Like, I could be in my bed reading like fucking the Bible, and I die of a heart attack, and they find me in my bed peaceful with my Bible. You know what I mean? Like that's ideal.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's.
It's gonna be on the couch with a Cheeto hanging out.
No,
on a channel that you didn't even like.
That's a good way to die.
Oh, that's still a good one.
Compared to what I'm thinking. I'm gonna die eating a Hot Pocket, watching fucking porn or something. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some shit like that. Where like I'm like, they're gonna find a Hot Pocket in my hand. watching fucking. It's just gonna be a constant fucking, a constant barrage of Pornhub, fucking just going over to no glory hole or some shit, some stupid stuff,
some nasty fetish that it lost videos to go through. So you know what?
Half-eaten hot pocket in that fucking sleeve that they give you.
You remember my homie Ben? I told you about from Phoenix. We had this thing.
HIPAA.
The hipster dog. Me and him, we had this little movement. It was just when cell phones were becoming so technologically edged where you could get porn on them and so on and so forth. And he had showed me some shit that he was getting texted, right? And so I was like, oh, you're into it, I'm into it. Next thing you know, we were competing on trying to find or gross each other out with the weirdest porn.
Oh, that'd have been fun.
Right, it was a great, me and him, I'd be like, search this one. And he'd look it up. And he'd have to find one and tell me, well, search this one. And we'd go back and forth. And we did this for...
Well, actually, I take that back, dude. And I'm going to tell you why I take that back. You can keep going. But yeah. I got to tell you, dude. I thought it would be fun, and then I just remembered something. This week, as a matter of fact, I follow a lot of groups on Facebook. So I get to see... Whenever people post in this group, I get to see it. And it would be fun until I saw something that somebody posted that really fucked me up. And I was scrolling.
That shit will.
I was scrolling.
That shit will.
And it was this hot chick, like, taking her top off. And I was like, okay. And I was like, scrolling. And I stopped and I was like, ooh. And I started watching it. And then all of a sudden, right as she's about to unpop her top, a dude is bent over a desk getting slammed by a big-ass pig. Like, for real. A for-real pig. Ramming a dude from behind, and the guy's yelling. He's like, "Oh!" And this was a big pig. This pig was the size of like.
This is a Hogzilla.
It was huge, and it's wailing in this guy, and he's yelling, and it fucked me up. So I wouldn't want to play that game because it fucked me up.
Well,
I've seen this. I've seen the guy stab a guy, and it still would never. That guy, the pig, fucking that dude would never.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm with you. I can't watch that shit. But we kept it somewhat civil, and we grossed each other out, and someone eventually found one that the other one said, yeah, you can't top, and we stopped at that. But that sounds fucking...
Dude, it was messed up. It was on Facebook. I don't know how they let that be on Facebook, but they banned us.
Right?
Because it really was. It was this really pretty girl.
I bet you that's how it got by, is that... people were stuck on
so like the first 10 seconds.
Yeah. And then, like you said,
and then all of a sudden it cuts like real fast because it was made to be a joke to like get you to be.
Oh, those are so stupid.
Like the little kid watching the TV and then a scary face pops up out of nowhere. Dude, I'm telling you, dude, it was a huge pig.
Oh man.
I'm
glad it's your image and not mine. Because just. Kind of imagining it.
I gotta pour another.
You gotta pour another shot. Yeah. Just kind of imagining it is wrecking my own psyche right now. So
and the guy's yelling. It wasn't like he was like, "Give it to me, papito." He was like, "Ooh." I'm like, well, "What are you doing it for?"
Yeah.
I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? I was like, "What do I do?"
Step away from the pig. Step away from the pig!
Dude, it fucked me up, dude.
Man, oh, fuck. No, we weren't finding shit like that. It was still...
Thank God.
It was still man-woman orientated.
Right.
But there's still some shit out there that'll weird you out, dude. Like,
oh, yeah.
Being that I'm sure he was just like... I mean, I don't know his proclivities, like what he... what all his fetishes are. But homie was super... I doubt they were extreme. You know what I mean? Like, to me, a foot thing... isn't too extreme, some stuff is, but there's shit that is out, so we didn't go out on a limb to try and do shit like that. We just found shit that was,
like grannies.
Grannies for sure. One of the ones that was a topper was, I probably shouldn't even talk about.
Speaking of grannies, you know how I know I'm getting older? Is we were working somewhere, and there was like this really hot lady, and I was like, oh, that chick's hot, right? And the guys were like, oh yeah, she is. And they were like, she's like 50. And I was like, what? I was like, when did I start thinking 50-year-olds were hot?
Yeah. I mean, I always told myself, like from a young...
Would you date a girl with a late... Okay. Would you date a woman with gray hair? Like, would you bring her to the crew, to the family, and be like, this is Doreen, she's like 52?
I don't bring any chicks by the family.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
But maybe you're in love with Doreen.
Maybe I am in love with
Would you be
Doreen.
open to being in love with the gray-haired woman with the silky hands
With silky smooth hair.
and the sexual experience?
So I don't know how to say it without sounding wrong or bad or whatever, but like I was told I was good looking from a young age, right? Like like, oh, look at this cute little kid, right? Like, all the way up to like who knows what stupid stuff, right? Like so when I was already 17, 18, I was having to deal with, like that whole cougar thing was coming around, right? The cougar.com, and it was just starting to pick up steam.
The older woman.
It was cool, or it wasn't.
It's sexy.
It wasn't against the norm for an older woman to be, with a younger guy, right? And being that, it's like I tell people, I always said that, I'm okay with being with an older woman, because when I'm older, I hope a younger woman's okay with being with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I keep it on that yin-yang factor, that karma and all that, and what goes around comes around type of, being that I plan on being a bachelor for a long time and maybe into my death, that, I don't know, I don't want to be 80 only having to mess with 80-year-olds, right? Like,
fuck no.
I hope maybe a 45, a 40, maybe I'm lucky in a 30-year-old chick, like,
be on Tinder and shit.
Yeah, right? So like I said, if the attraction is there, I'm not against it. I'm not gonna be some jerk to.
To you, it's just attraction. It's not a number.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
For
Yeah.
sure.
No, that's how it should be. Because I guarantee you, there's going to be times in your life and in my life as well where I'll probably meet somebody who may be 10 years, 15 years plus mine, or 10, 15 years under me. And there's a connection.
I got turned out by like a 27-year-old, 28-year-old chick when I was, I don't know, I was still in high school. I was fucking 16, 17 myself. Right? So, you know what I mean? Like, and if homegirl was still good looking, I think I'd let her get at me again, So, whatever age that is, she's nearly 50 now.
Yeah, but that's different.
Like,
I think that's like hot.
Yeah.
That's like, ooh, nigga.
Yeah.
But, I shouldn't have said that word. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then there's, but I mean that with an A, like as a homie.
As a homie, you done did this.
And I never say that word. I don't know what that
it was one of those big up moments.
It was you getting older, younger pussy that for some reason I lost my cool. But I think it's cool when you do it like that. But I think it's different when you're 36 and she's like 56. You know what I mean? Yeah. 16 and 26. That's like dog.
Yeah.
Not that necessarily it isn't cool if she's 56. She could be like fucking Christy Brinkley. You know what I mean?
You telling me
60 something?
You telling me you're gonna turn down Cindy Crawford? Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Brigitte Nelson, maybe Brigitte.
What?
Maybe Brigitte, you might turn her down.
Nah, I turn her down.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
So I like I said, if the attraction's there, I'm more than open to any of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. That should be with most things when it comes to relationships. It should always come down to a mutual respect, a mutual attraction, mutual connection. Yeah, connections are huge. What's the point of just being attracted to somebody and you sit on the couch with nothing to talk about?
Like homegirl up at the bank. I'm not gonna say which bank, but there's this older lady up at the bank that is fucking smacking in these jeans, dog. I'm like, she wears jeans tighter than me.
You don't have to tell me afterwards.
Yeah, I will, dog. and she would get it.
Cause I'm looking for a bank right now.
I'm like, homegirl could get it, dude.
You'd let her. Huh?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm
that older water all day.
For sure, dog. So it's all, to me, it's all about attraction level. If to me, a lot has to be if she's attracted to me. Like a girl that's attracted to me goes a long ways. Right. She might not be the hottest chick in the world, but if she's pursuing me and showing like her attraction to me, that is that says a lot. And I'm willing to, and I play ball all day with that. You know what I mean?
Right. I 100% agree.
Wow.
I'm all, for me, it's all about love, respect, and all that. It doesn't matter what age.
Respeto.
But I got my eye on a woman who's younger than me, so
Hey.
that's where I'm at right
Yeah.
now. Anyway, but we're going to wrap this bitch up. It's been a good podcast, and we're doing the 26th, and this is episode number 37. I got any closers?
Humanity, folks, keep it alive. Preach it and teach it. Smile with everyone you can.
Oh yeah, just be small for right now, guys. We'll start small. Open the doors. How you doing? How's it going?
Good lucks.
Yeah, all that.
How's your days?
Just
Nice to see you.
random jokes with people you don't know. Make somebody laugh that you don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but y'all guys be good. Take care of one another. We out. We out.
Peace, humanity. Who's this girl, man? She's